Hey everyone, welcome back to the Believe, Be Real, Be Bold podcast. I'm recording this special mini bonus episode in response to a question that I was asked recently. Can exes be friends? And I'm gonna have to ask for your help here, guys, because there's not one answer for this age-old question. Highly debatable, highly polarizing, highly enthusiastic answers are going to come across based on this question and answer that I want to give to you as a special Friday mini bonus episode this week. If you haven't yet, please tune into earlier this week, Monday's episode, From Headstrong to Letting Go with Jenna Poneman, an excellent episode. Loved our conversation. And please tune in, subscribe, rate, and review so that you're the first to know about the upcoming episodes. Cool Guy's Guide with Spencer Burnett. I cannot wait to have him on as a guest. Laura Ellen Love, Sarah Rabineau. All of these conversations are truly of the utmost value. When I reach out to experts in the love and relationship and coaching industry, counseling, therapy, social work, in those industries, I want to reach out to experts so that they can provide you with the best information that's current, researched, through experience, all of the above, so that we can bring this community of authentic daters and those seeking an authentic relationship together so that we can all grow to be the best and most authentic versions of ourselves. So let's get into today's question. Can exes be friends? The reason why this came up is an ex of mine came back into my life and asked me that question. Hey Dave, after you've asked all these experts all these questions, do you, as the host of the podcast, believe that exes can be friends? And the answer is yes, no, and it depends. I want to start with when it works. Exes can be friends when, or if it works if these parameters are in place. If neither one expects to get back together, that's pretty much obvious. I want you guys to think about that. If neither one expects to get back together, then exes can be friends. That means they either have to have had years of a break in between their relationship and when they become friends again, or if the relationship was short-term, then maybe that's months. For example, a girl that I dated for 2 to 3 months, about 13 or 14 years ago, had a birthday coming up. We hadn't spoken in about 4 months, so I said, hey, happy birthday, hope you're well. We've been friends ever since. And I could not be more thankful and grateful for the friendship that we have provided to each other over the last 12 to 13 years. So it can be done if neither expects to get back together. It also works if it was casual when you were together and there was no future. And again, there's a certain amount of time that has passed between maybe the last time you dated, the last time you had a conversation about we're ending this, and when you try to be friends again. It's very, very hard to go straight from that conversation of like, hey, I think we're better off just being friends, to the next day grabbing coffee again, grabbing lunch, and having a clear delineated definition of what your relationship is like moving forward. So that's another case where you can be friends. If you both understand that there was never any future to begin with, and there's no use in wasting either one of your time, if you're both looking for a more foundational, long-term relationship than what the two of you had. It works if you're both single. If you're not building a new relationship with somebody else, then I believe that you guys can actually spend the time and the energy it would take to build a strong foundation of a friendship. If you guys had a strong foundation of a friendship during your relationship, this particular case is going to be easier. For example, say you're together for 2 years and you really become to slide into that roommate situation, or that it's a relationship of convenience more than it is of passion and of intimacy and of trust and love and this true foundation. But you guys were pretty good roommates if you lived together. You guys were pretty good out in social situations. You had a lot of mutual friends. You have a great time when you're out together. The sex is fine, but you're looking for something more. And you both take some time off after that relationship from dating anybody else. Maybe you talk with each other through this situation, like you're still assisting each other in like detaching what your lives were going to be like, what you envision them to be like, what you hope that they would be like. And then that's really a possibility to help you build a foundation of a friendship if you take time off of dating somebody else. If you break up after that 2 years and you're continuing to talk to your ex about like, oh, I feel this, I feel that, I'm lonely, I'm not sure where to go from here, I had all these visions, I had all these dreams for our relationship, and you're dating somebody else, that's going to be really, really hard to have a friendship with the ex and build a new relationship, which is what we're going to get into just as the next step. It won't work if one has feelings for the other. I hope that that's obvious for you guys. If one is still clinging to the idea that you had a future together and that you were going to work out if only these few things changed, then you cannot be friends, because your motivation as a single person with feelings for your former boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife is single and will have motivations of like, if I just do this and this and this, I'll get back with them and everything will be fine, everything will be great, it'll be everything that I wanted to. At that time, I want you guys to reach out to one of our guests, our experts, and do a lot of self-discovery and self-awareness, which is one of those reasons why I love the Enneagram so much. When I went through my breakup in 2017, I decided to rebuild a relationship with God at that time because I felt like something was missing in my life. And I also dove deeper into the Enneagram and my personality type. And in the next video, I'm going to share with you a little bit more of that story of my breakup in 2017, so exactly 2 years ago, and what I've learned from it over the last 2 years through rebuilding a relationship with God, through the work of the Enneagram of self-awareness and self-discovery, and how it can help you too. So please keep scrolling and find the link to the next video that's going to dive deeper into the work that I've accomplished in the last 2 years of essentially being single with 1 3-month situationship, not a situationship, more of like an entanglement in the middle. Reason number 2 why it won't work. One of you is getting into a new relationship. The person who comes into your life, maybe they don't know you throughout that 2-year relationship. They're going to have that question of like, why are you still friends with your ex? And you better have a very good answer, guys. Because if you don't have a very good answer of like, oh, we were dating for 2 years, we slid into this roommate relationship, or it was a relationship of convenience, and we spent the last 6 months building a friendship, a foundation of friendship. That's a pretty good answer of why you're still friends with your ex. However, that new relationship that's building is going to need a lot of transparency, a lot of vulnerability, and a lot of authenticity in order to lay the foundation of trust and honesty and the things that the new person that you may not know very well, and they may not know you very well, and they definitely don't know your ex very well. Answer all those questions honestly, transparently, and to the best of your ability so that you're very clear with the new relationship why you're friends. However, I don't foresee it actually being like a friendship. I foresee it as being like an occasional check-in on social media, if you're still social media friends. Maybe like, that's gonna even be really hard because of the kind of depths at which a new person in your life is going to be absolutely comfortable with you interacting with the ex. So you have to have some very clear boundaries around your former ex and the new relationship. We'll get into that here in just a little bit about boundaries, but just kind of visualize what's gonna happen if you wanna get into a new relationship and you're still speaking to your ex. That's gonna be a really, really hard thing to juggle. And do you have enough energy and space in your life and to devote to the new relationship and to help the old one survive? Is that the best choice for you right now? And I believe that that's why I was going to spur so much conversation based on this mini episode for you guys. And that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I want your help. I want your ideas. So please comment below on the video or leave us a rating, a review, or on iTunes or Spotify. And reach out to me personally via direct message on social media, and we can get the conversation going, and I'll come back at a later time and do a follow-up. I promise you guys that. Third reason why it won't work. One of you is just out of a recent relationship. And maybe you haven't talked for a while after that 2-year relationship. And one of you is had been dating somebody for 5, 6 months, maybe a year, and all of a sudden you break up and you reach out to your ex for support. That's going to be really a vulnerable time in your life. And reaching out to an ex may not be the best idea because it can bring up a lot of previous feelings that you had. It might bring up that vulnerable feeling inside of you where I just need comfort and I just need to be close to somebody. That's maybe your ex is not the person. In my opinion, your ex is not the right person to reach out to about what's going on in your personal relationship and why it ended and how quickly you reach out after it ended. That's why we're inviting expert guests to come be on the podcast from week to week so that you can choose which one is the best fit for you when you're going through really, really challenging times. Whether that's while you're single and you want to get into a relationship, whether that's you're in a new relationship and you want to make it great, because it starts with you. It's going to be all about you making that relationship, your relationship with yourself, great so that your new relationship can be great. As well as if you've been in a long-term relationship and you want to maybe take the next step or have it turn the corner to that relationship that you envision yourself always being in. That's why we invite the expert guests onto the podcast. So reach out to your favorite one now. That could be me, and we'll do work through the self-awareness and discovery of the Enneagram. Or it can be through your favorite guest that's been on once, or maybe as we bring our guests back on for a follow-up, then you get to connect with them even better and deeper and really acknowledge who it is that's going to be part of your tribe, helping you get over a relationship, get into a new relationship, or make your current relationship amazing, because that's what we want for you guys. And finally, it comes down to the answer to this question: can exes be friends? It really depends. Not every situation is going to be perfect. What I believe is not necessarily the right answer for you in your current situation. And that's why you reach out to a trusted professional. Maybe your friends are not the best place to go to with this question. Your ex is most likely not the right person to reach out to about this question. So reach out to somebody that you trust that is as most an impartial opinion as they possibly can be. And that's why a trusted professional is the best route to go. It comes down to, what are your intentions about being friends with your ex? Do I want to date them again? Do I want to build a solid foundation of friendship with my ex? Do I want to clearly state that there is no chance for us in the future? Those are my intentions. Do I want my ex back in my life or to stay in my life because they truly are a phenomenal person? They just weren't the perfect fit for me? I think that that's the question that you need to ask yourself. What are my intentions about staying friends with my ex, reaching out to my ex, trying to rebuild a relationship with my ex? And if they are the perfect person, they're just not the perfect person for you, then that's awesome. But I hope that both of you can have that conversation about each person's intentions when it comes back to, hey, do you want to be friends? Which leads us into boundaries. This is the second question that I want to ask you guys about and direct you towards is, when you have the intentions of reaching back out to an ex or being friends with an ex, you and that person need to establish clear boundaries. Hey, we can be friends, however, we only text occasionally. We can be friends, but we only call occasionally. We can be friends that are only connected on social media, which is another conversation for another day. Hopefully it spurs enough conversation so that we can do a mini episode on social media here in the near future. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys want me to address social media and your exes, or social media and your exes, or social media and your new relationship, or your current relationship, or your soon-to-be relationship. That's a conversation for another day. So those are the healthy boundaries that I want you, after you've set your intentions, to clearly communicate with your ex about. And if those boundaries are in fact, no, I cannot be friends with you, You're a great person, just unfortunately, I don't have the energy and the space in order to allow those conversations back into my life. That's totally okay. You set the healthy boundary and you reflect back on your intentions of why you would want to communicate with any person, let alone an ex or a current relationship or a future relationship. You get to decide. That's the big key here, guys, is you get to decide what your intentions are and what your boundaries are. And when you do those two things, it helps you clearly learn how to manage your own expectations, because we all have them. We cannot fool ourselves into understanding or believing that we do not have expectations. When you reach out to an ex, you have expectations. You may not have even thought about your intentions or your boundaries, but you might have some expectations. The questions that are going on inside of you are like, will he even text me back? Will she even reach back out? Will it be a good conversation when I do? And if you're having those questions, reach out to one of our expert guests, because they will give you their opinion in as much of an impartial and unbiased way as they possibly can. Not like a friend, not like a family member, and certainly not like an ex would, because they have their own expectations. I'm hoping that that makes sense, guys, because when we learn how to manage our expectations, then we can cut out what's holding us back. And I bring that up because if there's an ex in my life that has one of these intentions or isn't respecting my boundaries, that continues to reach out, that's going to impact my future relationships. And I want to clearly say this out loud right now, guys, and I want you to hear me. Your ex is an ex for a reason. And they were in your life for a reason as well. As Jessica Smith, whom I really respect and love her opinions and always reach out to her with questions, when she says, each and every person comes into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, she's absolutely correct. And that's what an ex teaches us, is why were they in our lives in the first place? So that's part of our expectation conversation. We can go into other videos and other mini episodes about friends with benefits and why boundaries are very, very healthy and very necessary if an ex comes back into your life with the intentions of friends with benefits. Is that your intention for reaching out to them? That's a question you got to ask for yourself. It's also a conversation you and I can have too. What do I do when I'm in a friends with benefits situation with somebody I want to be with, somebody I used to be with, or somebody that I don't want to be with? What do I do? It's a conversation that I want to have with you guys. Expectations about like hoping to get back together. Again, that's the intentions of why am I reaching out in the first place? And it comes back to it won't work if one of you has that expectation. And then finally, our expectation of having healthy communication at every stage of a relationship. When you're first meeting somebody, healthy communication is key. When you're getting into a relationship, when you define the relationship, healthy communication is key. When you're in a relationship and it's exclusive, healthy communication is key. How do we do that? We've got some great experts on previous podcast episodes that you guys can tune back into and actually answer that question. With Joanna Schottky, with Jeff Lawton, with Suzanne Mueller-Hines. All of these people were amazing opportunities for me to ask that question. How do we have healthy communication? Healthy communication helps us establish healthy boundaries. We talked about that before. How do we set healthy boundaries with an ex, with a new relationship, with a current relationship, with an old relationship? And that's so very important for your mental health, guys, your confidence, your self-efficacy, and you just moving forward with your great life that we're trying to build together. And then finally, if we want to have that conversation, reach out to me and let me know if you want me to talk about co-parenting with an ex-wife, an ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend. It took my daughter's mom and I a very long time to even be friendly, to even be able to communicate, and even to be able to become friends. At this time in our life, for our daughter, because of our daughter, I believe that we have been able to create a healthy communication that helped build a friendship. I feel like I could reach out to my ex and talk about my daughter in a healthy way, in a calm way, in a very natural way at any time. It's not without struggles, it's not without challenges, guys, but I believe that time heals all wounds, and it just took us a lot longer than other people. So thank you so very much for tuning into this week's mini bonus episode. My name is Dave Glaser in Denver, Colorado. Please don't hesitate to follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Join us for a 3-day social media detox starting Friday morning. Talk to you soon.